we've been talking about a quiz program or game show on TV that you like. Now I would like to ask you some questions related to this topic, okay?
Okay.
Great. So let's consider television. Do people in your country like to watch TV?
Well, I consider my country, if I'm going to answer this question, I consider the nation that I come from to be a country very much involved with the media. I'll call it the mother of all media, the UK, because they created the BBC. They created the BBC radio many years ago. I think it was sometime in the mid-20th century. So I think it's very, very important. They have governmental channels. They also have lots of private channels, and lots of people, plenty of people like to watch these channels. You can watch anything you want. You can view movies, TV series, soap operas, but nowadays, obviously because of the internet and technology, people prefer to watch the same shows that our televisions are showing on their phones, maybe laptops, maybe Netflix, so that's a social media channel and everything. So there might be a pay-per-view, and they might want to watch a certain TV channel.
Okay, great. Tell me about the types of programs that are generally on television in your country.
Well, as I spoke about earlier in the previous part of this test, people love to watch quiz shows, I think, a lot, because it's very challenging, and the way they present these shows, it's very gripping. Not only do lots of people learn something, it could be a language-related show where there's something we have called catchphrase, and many people love to watch that and improve their vocabulary. But there's plenty of entertainment on our TV channels that many people like to look at.
Mm-hmm. And how about you? Do you like such quiz shows on TV?
I certainly do. I mentioned that earlier, and there's quite a few quiz shows that I would pick out. I would definitely pick Catchphrase and the previous one I spoke about, Bruce Nolan's Generation Game, because it's just very creative, and this is something that will keep me involved. And the shows are not too long either. They're about 25 minutes long or 30 minutes long, and I think that's enough to sit down and watch a television quiz show.
Okay, and why do some people like to watch TV on their computer?
Well, that's a very debatable question, if you ask me, because now if you look at the way generations are shaping out to be in the 21st century, it's not like the old-fashioned days where we'd sit in front of a television as a family and watch too many shows. Many people like to do things individually, especially with the technology accessible. Like we have our laptops, we have tablets, and just walking around with our phones and being connected to the internet. It's a lot easier to access the kind of home entertainment that many people are looking for. Okay,
very good. And what is the difference between young people and old people's favorite TV drama?
Well, that's something I really wouldn't know what to answer, because I don't actually know what young people are definitely watching in terms of drama, and the same goes with the elderly group of people. But I can maybe sense a pattern of what they're watching. So if it's young people, they'll be probably watching a drama related to action, if we're talking about boys, males or men. If we're talking about girls, maybe they're most likely to view romantic things, romantic TV series.
And why do you think is that? Like, why do they like to watch romantic movies?
I think lots of these issues are to do with hormones. I mean, I don't like to be nitpicky and definitely generalize on all these things, but generally girls love to watch TV series or movies that are romantic and they have some kind of a sweet angle towards it. Boys, because they tend to be more energetic, and again, to do with the hormones, they love to watch action and be entertained with all that gripping stuff.
Thank you very much. We are done with your speaking test for today. Now you can just relax. In the second part, you describe the time when you first talked in a foreign language. And in the third part, I want to ask you some questions related to this topic.
Yes.
Why do people want to learn a foreign language?
I think that depends a bit on the person, but probably the most common motivation is to be able to talk to people from other countries who have a different cultural background, who speak a different language. because I think that being able to speak a foreign language really opens doors to you, because even if you go to a different country, if you don't speak the language, people are less willing to share information with you. And if you do approach the people in their own language, they are usually very glad to help you out and to explain
So
more.
what is the best way to learn a foreign language? Through reading, through writing, or through speaking?
For me personally, it's listening and speaking, and just kind of trial and error. But I do think that depends a lot on the person and their personality, because I think an introvert person would probably rather study at home and read and write and study maybe the grammar, rather than approach a different person directly and practice their speaking skills.
Now let's talk a bit about children. Is it important to teach children foreign languages when they are little?
I think it can be very helpful, because if they're younger, they naturally learn easier and faster, and you can just teach them a different language in a playful way so that they get used to it from an early age. And
So
they
do
will
you think
benefit.
that children learn a foreign language faster than adults?
Yes, I do think so. However, I do also think that it depends on the motivation, because a child that learns, for example, English in school, but doesn't really want to learn it only because it's part of the curriculum, will probably not learn it faster than an adult who's really interested in learning it because they want to move abroad and need it for their job or also their
So
studies.
at what age do you think that children should start learning a foreign language?
Probably the younger, the better. But I think if I had to put an age, I would say when they enter school, because this is also when they have to get used to having this routine of studying and have a schedule for the day.
And how about the minority languages? Do you think that they will disappear one day?
Unfortunately, I think they will disappear unless we support the use and the teaching of it. So I think there are a lot of programs actually who are which are working on this, like people who are dedicated on spreading the use of it, or also teaching it to the next generation.
Thank you very much. This is the end of the speaking test. So, in the second part, you described a short journey you usually take but dislike. And now in the third part, I would like to ask you some questions related to this topic.
Okay.
Do you think that journeys have become easier due to the use of navigation apps?
Yes, a lot. I still remember the time when I started working in sales and visiting clients, and literally having the map on my knee in the car and driving on the Autobahn, and then looking at the map and reaching my clients and planning the tour. So that was a lot of effort and time put into that, and a lot of stressful driving. So I personally can say yes, the first navigation system, first GPS system in a car was like a blessing for me.
Okay, and why do you think people usually embark on journeys in your country?
Germans are famous to to be tourists all around the world, and like I would say as a German, unfortunately you run into Germans everywhere. I remember being in Scotland in the most northern part, very secluded area, like a little village with artists and stuff like that, and we ran into a little like shop, and we were three guys talking in German, and then someone answered in German, said in German, "Hey, where are you from?" And then it turned out he was from the same town as we. So you travel at the end of the world and you always meet some Germans. So traveling and experience other cultures, and having a big emphasis on spending valuable time in your off time.
And how about backpacking? Do you think that this kind of traveling has also become popular nowadays?
Yes, especially with younger people, it was always popular. Like after you finished school, going like backpacking on for like half a year or a year. Australia or Vietnam were very popular countries here. And I think with COVID and the pandemic lockdown, we had a surge in interest in like doing like local trips and hiking trips and backpacking in Germany or close by.
And what are the most essential items to carry on a journey in your case?
In a backpacking journey or in a hiking journey, and what kind of journey?
Any kind of journey that you would like to do.
Okay, that's dependent on where I want to go and what kind of facility I will find there. So if I have a hotel and stuff like that, I need different things than I just need on a hiking tour. But let's speak about hiking because I have some experience with that. So you need a good backpack, you need to, like good clothing, weather-resistant clothing, and good shoes. So there are some essentials for like backpacking and outdoor activities. And then you need some utility items for your daily life, like cooking equipment. And like we say, if you buy cheap, you buy twice. So some good quality matters there.
Thank you very much. Great. Now this is the end of the speaking test.